Yo guys, what is going on? It's your boy BurkCrown88 coming at you with the pre-order a deluxe edition packs. If you got the deluxe edition, right now one of your biggest questions is what is the perfect players to take, or who should I take? And there's a couple different ways you need to look at it. One, do you care about the new line combos? If you don't, that's fine. You don't need to worry about the line combos. The line combos are there as a bonus or a benefit if you want to do something like that. But if you want specific players, just take them. But these lineup combos isn't something that you should completely focus on unless you want to get your hands on the new feature of HUT, right? Like lineup combinations is a massive feature of HUT, but it's intended to let you use the cards you want to use and boost them up to still be competitive. So if you don't care about the lineup combinations, take the players you want to take. But also, if you are a money spender, you are not going to so much worry about overalls because you're going to have the best cards. You are going to worry about salaries because you're going to need the salaries to be boosted to get all your cards in your lineup. So what I mean by that, for example, is you see on salary, they have Sweden, 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 Finn, Finn, Finn. If you have 3 Finns and 3 Swedish players, you're going to want to pair them together to give you that boost so you can get more players on your team if you spent that big money. And then also with that, if you can, you're going to try to focus on AP as well. So that's where you got to kind of think about what kind of player you are. Do you want to focus on spending money, building the best team, and arranging salary and AP to make everything fit? Or are you going to try to go free to play or minimal money spent and try to activate overalls to keep up a little bit or to get some of your worst cards leveled up a little bit? But you don't have to focus on this. You can play without even doing this lineup combination. But not lineup combinations. And before we get into the packs, we have to see how much these cards cost, because it doesn't matter if you're worried about lineup combinations or what you're worried about. Seeing the cost of these cards will break it down on whether you can be a little flexible with your picks or if you got to be really important on what cards you pick because they might be too expensive to build. When we go in here, you're going to look at Fedorov, who is 583 to 85 alumni players. And that is how you're going to build Fedorov and all the other icons. Now, to get those icons, you need 381 to 82s. So these are relatively expensive. And then it's the same with the heroes. They take 81 to 83 alumni players, 5 of them as well. And then to get one of the 81s, you need 79 to 80 alumni players to build an 81 to help you get the 5 in building the heroes. So the heroes and icons aren't a cheap card to build, even though they don't upgrade. So when you're picking these ones, you've got to get it right. So with that being said, it is time to open these packs, look at the players, and which one is the best one to take. Now, everybody's going to be different. Do you want big? Do you want fast? But if you're looking at some of the perfect combinations, then talking about Zdeno Chara is a good way to go. So you got Boston, which would allow you to get +2 speed to Chara, which when it comes to Zdeno Chara, he is a slow build, but a massive one, and Truculence is a big impact card. Massive impact card. So when you're taking Chara, Boston would be the pair you're looking for to activate that slight speed and get him boosted up a little bit and get that Truculence, which is nasty. And then after Chara is going to be Hemsky. Now Hemsky is Oilers and Czech, which is activatable boost for overalls. So you do have a chance to get Hemsky up to an 88 speed if that's something you want to work on, or if he's just a player of yours that you want to use and get him boosted up. But Alex Hemsky is a dynamite usage if he's your style of player. Same with Chara. If you're a big bruiser that likes to throw the bodies, Chara's an option. Same with Hemsky. But as for this list, I don't think Hemsky or Chara are the best picks. I'm going to personally take Zdeno Chara because I want that size and I want to use Truculence because it's fun. But when it comes to the perfect pick, I think we're thinking Jeremy Roenick. And the reason I'm thinking Jeremy Roenick is because he's going to pair with your icon pick to get +2 overall to both Roenick and Solani. And with Roenick having 87 speed, when you get him to +2, that gives him 89 speed. Pairing him with Solani, getting Solani to 96 speed, which I will talk about later in this video. But I think Roenick with Solani and then another Chicago Blackhawk player to get all the 2 overalls, I think that is a very strong combination to give Roenick 89 speed and the already crazy fast Solani 96 speed. So I think Jeremy Roenick is the best if you're worrying about the overalls. But if you're not, I'm taking Chara for the fun of it. If you're looking for the fun of it, take the player you want to take. But Roenick, in my opinion, is the best pick out of these 6 players. So like I said, it is just going to come down to what are you looking for out of the game. And then after Roenick is going to be Keith Tkachuk, American, St. Louis, so he could activate some boosts for you as well. All of them are pretty good at activating at least one boost, depending on what you want. Again, Keith Tkachuk isn't the fastest, but maybe you can boost him up a smidge or use him for your salary or AP. So Keith Tkachuk isn't unusable. If you're a fan of the player, take him, use him, and fit him in where you can. But like I said, it is always going to come down to the perfect matchup of Solani and Roenick that is just so hard to ignore. Now that matchup isn't the end-all to be-all, but it's a good one. Naslund. Naslund is Vancouver and Sweden, and Sweden does get a +2. So when it comes to Naslund and his +2, that gets him up to 88 speed, which is very good. So this Naslund, if paired with a good center, is an unbelievable combo. So say you don't want Solani, or say you want to try Fedorov. Naslund and Fedorov don't work together as a lineup combination, but together with the speed and Fedorov's faceoffs, that's a pretty good combination. Now, I want Fedorov, so the Roenick-Solani combo doesn't do anything for me because I want to play with Fedorov with this being his first year. And I'm going to take Chara and pair him up with a Boston Bruin to get that +2 to Chara, but still just enjoy playing the game with Fedorov, which I will talk about later in this video. But again, Naslund is a very good build. And if you are a fan of Vancouver, or you want to activate Sweden with their salary because you're going to be spending money on the game, Naslund is probably a great pick. And then we got Rob Blake. Rob Blake being the last one to go over, but he is not by any means the worst one because none of them are built horribly, right? Rob Blake's got good size, 84 speed, so he's faster than Chara. It's all in what you want. None of them are built horribly, but I would definitely say Naslund, Roenick, and Chara would be the top 3, and Roenick is the best one when paired with Teemu Solani, in my opinion, because that's 2 cards that you get out of the gate to get +2 overall, and then there's an event card that you can get to help you out with that Chara, with that Roenick-Solani combo. So that is something to consider, guys, when you're looking at your heroes. But as I look at the heroes, I would have to say, if you want that +2 overall boost, you got to go Roenick. If you want that size, you got to go Chara and play with that truculence. It looks fun. Or if you just want an in general good card, Naslund or Hemsky is it. But if you're looking for the perfect one, guys, you got to go Roenick. So Roenick is going to be the best build, in my opinion, based on the lineup chemistries. Now, when it comes to the icon pack, this is another big one, and I've touched on it a little bit. If you want Fedorov, take him. If you want Solani to pair him with Roenick, it's unbelievably powerful. And that is because Solani not only has pressure, which is crazy, he has 94 speed. So when you get Roenick in there and another Chicago Blackhawk, you get him to 96 speed, making him the best player. And it's fitting that I picked him or opened him first in this pack because he's the best player. So you might as well show him off first so we can move on to the rest. But guys, if you wanted that, it's Roenick, Solani, playing Roenick at center and finding yourself a left-handed winger, which is in the Fresh Ice event. But Teemu Solani, he is it, right? He is it. Now, when it comes to the next one, we've got Joe Thornton, Canada activation, San Jose activation. Now, Canada has a lot of players in the league that are very good. So when it comes to Joe Thornton, he doesn't really offer you a unique country with a very good card. He is decent. 85 faceoff is really good, but if you want the big face-off card, you're going to probably go with Fedorov, not Thornton. And he's slow, and there doesn't really look to be much overall boost for Thornton right now, so you can't do anything with that. But Thornton is a good card. The problem is no really big Canada boost, and even if there is Canada boost, there's so many good Canadian players that you can get on your team to lift up your team that you don't really need to use this pick on Thornton when you could get Teemu Solani from Finland, and Finland's got not as many good Canadian or good players as Canada. So with that being said, unless I'm building some sort of theme team like Toronto or San Jose, I'm going to have to pass on Joe Thornton. A hard one to pass up on is going to be Chris Pronger. Chris Pronger being 6'6" is absolutely unbelievable. And that's what makes saying just take Solani so hard, because Chris Pronger is a St. Louis Blues. And if you get Weegar as your captain card, he's a Calgary Flame. Those two mix together to make yourself 5 AP. So if you are a money spender, maybe Pronger's the way you go and you try to build yourself Solani, or you grab Solani and you try to get yourself Pronger. But Pronger is so big and he's so good, and 84 speed isn't terrible when you're 6'6", that he is somebody that's hard to say, hey, don't take Pronger, when all of these cards are extremely good. So you take anybody you want. But when I say take Solani, it's that Solani-Roenick combo that is just so powerful. So don't sleep on any of these cards or make yourself think you have to take one in particular. If you're a fan of Pronger, just take the Pronger and move on from there. And enjoy using a card you're a fan of, because remember, the lineups change every season. So after season 1, when we go to season 2, they're going to change. Which brings us to Chris Chelios, a very, very fast defensive card that's going to be very good. So if you want to get him and get that 87 speed, you do that, because this card is going to be a really good one. And remember, like I said, the Solani-Roenick combination is only going to be good for the first season. So you get global launch on September 12th, and then from September 12th to whenever that season ends, that's when Solani and Roenick are dynamite. And then after that, those cards may not get a combination, and they may not be that great unique combo that we had in season 1. And then season 2, you might get some crazy American or Chicago defensive combo where Chris Chelios is now this fantastic card and you want to put him in your lineup. So yes, combinations are something to focus on, but not at the cost of not picking your favorite player. And Chris Chelios at 87 speed is ridiculously good. Which, I mean, when you're taking players, you got to take who you want. And I want Fedorov. So when it comes to Sergei Fedorov being his first year back in the game, I want to take him. And I don't care about any of the lineup combinations, but also a massive perk to Fedorov is he has wheels, 91 speed, 87 faceoff. 87 faceoff is unbelievable. Fedorov's a lefty. I'm good with lefties. He has wheels and 91 speed, which is still going to be top end at the game. So Fedorov is my pick. Unfortunately, he doesn't activate any boosts. But again, maybe season 1 ends, season 2 starts. Next thing you know, Detroit or a Russian-themed player gets you a +2 overall, or maybe +3 overall, or whatever they decide to do. But maybe that +2 drops on a Detroit player. Now Fedorov's 93 speed, Solani's only 94 speed. It's not that bad, and you get the face-off with the wheels. So I'm taking Fedorov with the hopes that I can use him on a line chemistry later, but just going to enjoy using him in the first couple of weeks of NHL 26 because I've never got to use him in HUT, so I just need that card. So Fedorov being the play, there's nothing else for me to do. Fedorov, Chara on the team, but like I said, Roenick, Solani, nobody's going to blame you for taking that combo. And then, obviously, the only one left has to be Henrik Lundqvist, which I would take Henrik Lundqvist as a free goalie in the Deluxe Edition pack if none of these guys interest you and you want to get Lundqvist, King Hank, as your goalie. But again, until we see goalies matter, this one would be a very hard goalie to take because we've been burnt on goalies so many times. And if we get into this game and realize goalies don't matter, that's going to be very tough, and this is going to be a wasted pick. So if you want to take Henrik Lundqvist, you take him. But I could not bring myself to grabbing a goalie when there is so many other great options out there. So I would put Hendrick last. Really, for me, it would come down to Fedorov and Solani 1-2, Pronger and Chelios 3-4. Thornton would be just ahead of Lundqvist, and Lundqvist would be last. But Fedorov and Solani are the clear 1-2 for me, depending on if you want to play with Fedorov because he's new to the game, or if you want Solani because you want 96 overall speed, just burning people down the boards. But that is going to be your pre-order Deluxe Edition pack, boys. Let me know who you're taking in the comment section down below. But thank you for watching. Till next time, ciao, ciao.